Bugatti want £20,000 to service my Bugatti Veyron. Today, we're going to do it for a lot cheaper.
Matt Armstrong has just done something that many Bugatti owners never thought possible. He pulled back the curtain on one of the most expensive maintenance programs in the automotive world and revealed what servicing a Bugatti Veyron actually involves. For years, Bugatti's maintenance costs have become the stuff of legend. Owners are told that routine upkeep can run into tens of thousands of dollars. A standard service is typically quoted at over $20,000, while major overhauls can cost dramatically more. The assumption has always been straightforward. This is a $1 million hypercar, so naturally, everything associated with it must be expensive. But after buying and rebuilding his Bugatti Veyron, Matt Armstrong decided to find out whether those enormous bills were actually justified. The adventure began with a Veyron that was far from perfect. Although Matt had already managed to get the car running, several major issues still remained. The dashboard was littered with warning lights, the engine was suffering from persistent misfires, and the transmission system was throwing up errors. On top of that, it appeared the car hadn't received proper maintenance in years. Most owners would have simply shipped the car back to Bugatti and signed an enormous check. Matt chose a different path. His goal was simple: do the maintenance himself and find out exactly where all that money was going. The first obstacle appeared almost immediately. Bugatti wouldn't sell him many of the parts he needed unless the car was taken directly to an authorized service center. That meant Matt couldn't simply order filters, spark plugs, and fresh components the way he would with any ordinary car. Instead, he began investigating every single part removed from the Veyron. What he discovered was eye-opening. Many of the components inside the world's most famous hypercar were not exclusive Bugatti creations. Some parts had their origins in other Volkswagen Group vehicles. Since Bugatti was owned by Volkswagen when the Veyron was developed, this wasn't entirely surprising, but seeing the evidence firsthand was genuinely revealing. Working alongside Bugatti specialist Simon Falonga, Matt sourced genuine replacement parts where necessary and cross-referenced others on his own. Piece by piece, he began to reconstruct the maintenance package that Bugatti charges its customers a fortune to carry out. As the work progressed, the numbers became impossible to ignore. One of the most telling discoveries involved the transmission accumulators. Bugatti charges hundreds of dollars per unit, but Matt found they were virtually identical to parts used in other vehicles from the Volkswagen family. The same story repeated itself again and again throughout the project. Then came the gearbox pump. Bugatti's replacement price for this pump came in at over $3,600. After researching alternatives, Matt discovered that the pump motor could be sourced for a fraction of that cost. By carefully transferring certain components and modifying connectors, he was able to create a fully functional solution that cost a tiny fraction of the official replacement price. The more he dug, the more questions kept surfacing. Was Bugatti charging for the brilliance of its engineering and its exclusivity, or simply because owners had no other option? The service continued with fresh engine oil, gearbox oil, filters, spark plugs, and a thorough general inspection. Throughout the process, Matt repeatedly found that many parts bearing the Bugatti badge had their roots in far more common vehicles. The spark plugs offered another perfect example. Bugatti's pricing forced owners to pay hundreds of dollars more than necessary for components that could be identified and sourced elsewhere. The same pattern emerged with the ignition coils, transmission fluid, and a variety of other maintenance items. Perhaps the most striking moment came when Matt compared Bugatti's official labor estimates against the work actually being done. According to official figures, replacing certain components could involve more than 20 hours of billable labor. While Matt acknowledged that some of the work genuinely demands specialist knowledge, he couldn't help questioning whether those quoted times truly reflected reality. As the restoration continued, the Veyron slowly began to come back to life. There were setbacks along the way, of course. A freshly installed gearbox pump failed to build pressure. After hours of diagnosis, Matt discovered that two wires had been connected the wrong way around, causing the pump to spin in the wrong direction. It was a simple mistake, but once corrected, the transmission system immediately began behaving exactly as it should. The engine presented another challenge. Despite replacing the spark plugs and servicing the key components, the Veyron continued to show an uneven idle and occasional misfires. The solution eventually came from an unexpected source: the mass airflow sensors. After further investigation and testing, Matt fitted replacement sensors and noticed an immediate and dramatic improvement. The engine started more smoothly, held a steadier idle, and finally began to behave the way a Bugatti in proper working order should. For the first time since he had bought the car, Matt could see a clear path to a fully functioning Veyron. But he wasn't finished yet. Once the mechanical issues were largely resolved, he turned his attention to how the car looked. The Veyron was put through a dry ice cleaning process to strip away years of accumulated grime and dirt, revealing just how much potential had been hiding beneath the surface. Matt then removed the vinyl wrap covering the car, hoping to find the original paintwork in reasonable condition underneath. While some areas looked excellent, others revealed adhesive damage and cosmetic imperfections that would need further attention. Even so, the car was drawing noticeably closer to the standard he had envisioned. To mark the progress, he also fitted a lightweight titanium exhaust system. The result transformed the character of the Veyron completely. The new exhaust amplified the sound of the W16 engine and made the turbochargers far more audible. For a car that has often been criticized for being quieter than expected, this upgrade brought an entirely new level of excitement to the driving experience. And then came the moment everyone had been waiting for: the final numbers. After completing the service, diagnosing faults, replacing components, sourcing alternatives, and returning the Veyron to full working order, Matt tallied up the total cost. The entire project came to approximately £1,193. That figure stunned viewers. A service that most people associate with bills running into tens of thousands of pounds had been completed for a tiny fraction of the expected cost. While not every Bugatti repair can be approached in this way, and certain specialist procedures will always require expert facilities, Matt had proven something important. Many of the frightening maintenance costs associated with owning a Bugatti are not always what they seem. By researching parts, understanding the engineering, and refusing to accept conventional wisdom, he uncovered a world of hidden alternatives that most owners never get to see. More importantly, he demonstrated once again why millions of people follow his journey. Matt Armstrong isn't just fixing cars. He's challenging the idea that exotic vehicles must remain locked behind factory doors and inaccessible service departments. With determination, creativity, and a willingness to learn, he's proving that even a Bugatti Veyron can be understood, repaired, and improved outside of the traditional system. And after pulling back the curtain on Bugatti's maintenance and repair costs, one thing became clear. The biggest surprise wasn't how expensive Bugatti parts can be. It was how many of them don't have to be.